Yes, y'all. We back. It's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Available everywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I hesitate to say, but it is also available on Spotify. That's a struggle for me right now. I'm not quite sure what to do with that. And of course, klyphnotes.com. Yo, this one is dope. It's an opportunity for me to do an interview with someone who does interviews with other people, which is always really, really dope, man, because I think anytime you have a platform and you use that platform for elevating and uplifting other artists, I think that should be highlighted. And I don't know that it happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? When you on that side of the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Rappy Dooski live on the Klyph Notes podcast. How you doing, fam?
Good, man. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Listen, brother, I'm doing really, really good. Thank you for taking some time and pulling up for the podcast.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So, man, I just want to jump right in, bro. We was talking a little bit before I hit record. You, like I, am a transplant to Portland.
Yes, sir.
But you, like I, rep Portland big time, B.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm curious as to the sort of the drive to do that and the genesis of what you've built through PDX Radio and the whole situation, bro.
First off, thank you for having me.
For sure.
Secondly, I'm born and raised in Stockton, California. I moved out here in 2007. When I came out here, it was just party time. I came out here July 1st. I left July 14th or something like that. But when I went back to California, I had 2 jobs.
Okay.
So I came to Oregon, partied for 2 weeks, and somehow ended up getting 2 jobs in the whole 2 weeks I was out here. And so they asked me to come back out here. So 2 weeks later, I had my bags packed. I moved back to Portland. And Portland has shown me so much love since I've been out here.
Yeah.
I can't help but rep Portland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the community base. When I came out here, I saw the music scene. The music scene was really big back in 2007 out here. I mean, there was shows every week at clubs downtown. You had Ohm, you had the Vintage 318, you had the City, you know what I'm saying? So it was like people just throwing shows all the time. So I connected with a lot of these local artists through MySpace.
Yeah.
And kind of just built my reputation through just networking with people like that.
Yeah. It's funny, man. You say MySpace, and it makes you realize that this networking thing that is now such a part of how we move, how we connect, how we meet people, how we meet people, where it all has come from. To me, being able to do this is really cool, to sit down with people in person, because it's almost like it's a lost art now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So coming out here, building with folk, as I was diving in a little bit more. So, like, truth be told, bro, I'd seen PDX Radio. I'd seen some of the stuff that was popping. There's so much information out there. It's really hard to to keep up on everything. And shout out to Jimbo and the folk over across the street. Had a chance to build with them, and he would often talk about you and what you were doing with Pretty Dope Experience, and it made me want to look in a little bit further, because again, Cross the Street is another one of those platforms that uplifts.
Oh yeah.
And so anytime you see someone who recognizes that and supports that, the way that he shared that you were supporting that, I had to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea of doing that. No, even before we go there, talk to me about PDX Radio and everything that's associated with it, because it seems like that's the sort of the foundation.
Yeah.
And other things grow out of that.
Yes. So the way PDX Radio came about, shout out to my guy Brandon Scott and Chris Scott. They actually gave me the name for Pretty Dope Experience. Me and Brandon were going to do a podcast. We tried to hop on another radio station that was looking for podcasters, and it was right when I was fresh out of college. So I went to PCC Cascade,
okay,
and got my professional musicianship. So and then I interned at 107.5 with Christina with the K.
Okay, word.
So that's where I kind of got like my training for radio. So once I graduated from school, me and Brandon were going to start that podcast. We got turned down, and so he was like, "Man, let's just start a radio station." And I was like, "Okay." We just turned Pretty Dope Experience, which was supposed just to be a podcast, turned out to be a full-blown radio station. So within a week, I just used my knowledge. I went around and I found all the the holes that I needed to plug in, and I started streaming people's stuff within a week.
Wow.
And I was just doing it from virtual DJ. I created like a 24-hour playlist, and I just let it run. And then from there, it was just like, okay, we need an app. Okay, we need a website. Okay, we need to make sure that we have our sound exchange. We need to make sure we have our BMI. We want to make sure that artists can get paid. We want to make sure that, you know, we can keep people in rotation, and then we're not getting in trouble for playing mainstream artists. Yeah. So all that just started to come together to form PDX Radio. And then since 2019, me and my wife, we just been working hard. She's like the behind the scenes person, and I'm the in front of the camera, the face of
you the talent.
Everything.
You the talent.
Yeah. She likes to book all the interviews and do all the analytics and keep track of all of our stats and stuff like that. So it branches out because I feel like we're more than a radio station. I feel like we're like a family, because we build these connections with artists. All the artists that I've interviewed, I feel like I have a special connection. I don't consider them as friends; they family to me. Wow. You know, just like after this interview, you my brother from here on out.
Dope.
You know what I mean, for life. So that's just how I treat every situation, like family. You know what I'm saying? Like how would you want your family to treat you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And being I don't have a lot of extended family out here. Mm-hmm. Every artist that I've come in contact with, they've really embraced me for being a transplant out here. They, oh man, you my brother, man, you know, and it's so I take that and I run with it. That's the energy that it gives me to keep going and keep doing this every day.
I love that, bro. I love that. It is a very similar experience to the experience that I've had coming out here and sort of finding my connections and finding I don't know, man, finding my community, finding my tribe to a great degree.
Oh yeah.
When you make the decision to do something like that, take on a platform, build a platform that is there and available. Initially, it's it's kind of cool, and then it can become work.
Oh, it's definitely work.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely work.
When I look at the work that you put in, the visuals that you do, the consistency that you've had, one of the things to be celebrated, I saw you post, you just hit 7 years?
Yes.
Yo, man, congratulations.
We just hit 7 years, January 1st.
Wow.
So we started this right before the pandemic. Literally like a month or so before the pandemic. We count January 1st as the day that we said, okay, we're just going to make sure that we're doing everything and we got all our ducks in a row. And so starting January 1st of 2020 is where we were like, all right, paperwork here, get all these things in a row. Yeah. So that's our anniversary. So yeah, we just hit 7 years, man. We've been doing really, really good. I think Q3 of last year, we hit 732,000 listeners. That's just through the third quarter. Yeah. And so I haven't even done the fourth quarter stats yet, but I'm pretty sure we hit about 1 million listeners throughout the whole year last year. Yeah. This will be like our third time doing that.
Wow. When you see that growth and when you see that you see those numbers, does it give you a sense of satisfaction? Does it give you a feeling of achievement? Does it put pressure on in any way when you see those numbers?
It makes me want more.
Okay.
It makes me want to make the station bigger. Okay. It makes me want to play more independent artists because I see that's what's drawing people to our station. I tell people all the time, our station is one of the stations that we probably play the most independent artists out of anybody in the United States, and that's just my personal opinion. Yeah. And I've listened to a lot of internet radio. I've listened to, it's all within the programming. So whoever the program director is decides on who has music and what music gets played. So sometimes they dedicate 2 hours, sometimes they dedicate 3, sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's maybe 2 days. Yeah. With us, it's 7 days a week, 365. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's always going with somebody listening. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's just trying to figuring out the marketing of this. Yeah. And figuring out how to push it. Yeah. So when I see those numbers, it's just like, I want to do 5 million in a year. I want to do 10 million in a year. I want to have days to where I have, 2,000 people listening at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm settling for what I got. What I got is good, and I feel like we're doing really good throughout the weeks and throughout the month. But it just, again, seeing those numbers, it just makes me want more. It just fuels that passion in me to keep going and try new things and do bigger ideas. You know?
Yeah. That's what's up. So before the radio station, maybe even before your move to the Portland area, what was your connect, or what was your creative outlet? Because I asked that because, I tried to do a little bit of research and I was like, oh, wait. Okay, so Rappy, he's DJ, that makes sense. Oh, wait, Rappy, producer. Okay, didn't realize. So what was your creative outlet prior to the radio station?
Growing up, I was a musician. So I play alto, baritone, tenor, and soprano saxophone by trade.
Word.
Been playing that since like second grade.
Okay.
Fast forward to like middle school, high school, 92, 93. My sister had a boyfriend who was a rapper, and I considered them one of the top rappers in the city because they weren't just like NWA lyrics type stuff back then. They actually had like bars. They taught me what a metaphor was. They taught me how to formulate a song, how to write a hook. My brother-in-law taught me how to make my first beat.
Okay.
So that's where that kind of grew from. From me having a musical background, I've always wanted to be a producer. I've always wanted to make instrumentals. I've always had a fascination with how a kick drum hits, how this pattern for the cymbal is like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or listening to a synth or something like that. And when I was young, I would try to emulate like Kenny G. Playing the saxophone. I would always try to emulate Kenny G, and I would sit back and I would listen to songs and I would figure it out by ear, what note is what note, and then I would play it back. So that's where my production side came from. Again, 13 years old, my brother taught me how to rap, so that's where the rap side came from. And then after high school, he had a studio.
Okay.
And I take that back. He had a 4-track. He had a Tascam 424 4-track. For those who don't know, that's recorded on tape.
Yes, sir.
So that's how I started. That's where I got my first adventures in recording, is learning how to record on cassette tape. So I've been through the cassette tape era, the digital era, and the Fruity Loop era. So I also started on the keyboard too. We had a Korg N364 workstation, which is like the baby brother to the Korg Trinity. Okay. Or the Triton. Triton. Yeah. Baby brother to the Triton. So I learned on that. And then Fruity Loops came out like shortly after I started producing. And then from there it was like, oh, I can do all of this on a computer. Yeah. I don't need a
bunch of gear, a bunch of hard gear, outboard gear.
Yeah. So then I just started learning that way and just working my way through it. I've had every Fruity Loop since it first started. I've seen every iteration of the program, so I know it front and back, and then fast forward to 2015, I ended up graduating college out here for music, and just really trying to hone in like my recording skills and trying to hone in like my mastering and mixing skills and things like that.
That's what's up, bro. So oftentimes it's said some of the great DJs are producers. Yeah. Because you have a specific ear to how to pick music, how to blend this, that, and the third. I often think of, I've said for years, man, I call myself DJ Klyph, and I'm so grateful that I'm on the radio because I know so many great DJs. I feel like I would be doing DJ a disservice if I was just, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I wonder as someone who is a trained musician, someone who has seen the progression from analog to digital, someone who has been involved in the music scene as long as you have, as you're talking about curating a radio station, how do you, and I ask this question because it's a question that I have had to ask myself, and that has been asked of me. Yeah. How do you create opportunities for artists, for creatives, while maintaining a high level of quality, creating a potential opportunity for growth, while also not closing doors?
That's a tough question.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm asking it. That's why I'm asking the question.
That's a super tough question. I think I gotta think about this. I think that for me, it's being an artist and being a rapper and not having those opportunities for me when I was coming up. It's kind of like why I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I mean, I'm not saying that I've never been on the radio, because I've been on the radio. I've had songs played on the radio before, but it was a hard process to be able to get my stuff played on the radio. So I wanted to make sure that this platform would make it as easy as possible for an artist to be able to get their music on, to get their music heard, and to be able to be paid. That was a selling point for me. I wanted to make sure that, you know, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it by the books. We're gonna log everything. We're gonna send everything over to like BMI, Sound Exchange, so people can get paid royalties. I tested it out on myself first, to make sure that it was gonna work. So I only played the songs from me that I had registered with BMI and ASCAP.
Okay.
Just to see, okay, am I going to get a royalty check for this? What's going to happen? Quarter went by, and I ended up getting a small little check.
There you go.
So that was that. At that point, that was a real selling point for me. Keeping the quality is that's another hard part. Keeping high quality is, because there's so much music out there.
Yes, sir.
And there's so many artists out there.
Yes, sir.
And I have a big heart, 5'10", but my heart is 7'4". I say this all the time. My heart is 7'4", and I hate telling people no. I hate telling people, you know, hey, sorry, but can you send me something that's more of quality, something that has a more studio sound to it?
Yeah.
I have a hard time telling people no, or telling them that I can't play their music, because it's just not up to that quality and standard that I'm looking for. Because once people started catching on that, oh, he's accepting music. Oh, everybody started sending me stuff. They would send me music, and it would all be one word. There'd be a 3-word sentence, all in one word, grouped together, and I got to figure out this is JJ the Great. The name of this song is, hold on, let me count the letters here, space this, you know. And at a certain point, I had to put my foot down and say, yo, you guys got to send me stuff that's got all the metadata in it. So I don't to make it easier on me, because I was working myself to death. And now, mind you, I work at night. I DJ all night long. I get off work 3 a.m, and then I sleep a couple hours. I'm a dad. I'm a father. So I take care of my kids in the morning, and then it's right to radio business. Off of 2 hours of sleep. So I'm always on the go and always on the move. This radio stuff really just keeps me motivated. Because the more I do it every day, and the more that people want to interview with me, that's a real driving force for me. And so now it's like I have this reputation or this image that I have to keep up. So it's like, okay, I'm watching the Curtis Kings. I'm watching the Sean Pauls. I'm watching all of these different streamers. Like, what's setting us apart from them? Okay. Video quality. You gotta upgrade your camera. Audio quality. You gotta upgrade your audio. You gotta upgrade your mic. Visuals. You gotta have the background. You gotta have, you gotta have your lights. You gotta have your lighting right. Like these are all stuff that I've learned on the fly. And didn't have anybody to really teach me or show me or tell me exactly what to do. But I know in my mind what I want and where I see this thing going. And the way I see Pretty Dope Experience or PDX Radio, I see it as more than just local. You know, and I tried to tell people for years, you know, send me music, because once we open the floodgates, people catch on, I'm gonna get flooded,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna be like what people want it to be.
Yeah.
So once we did that and the floodgates open, you know, we got artists from New York coming down to interview with us. We got artists from Iowa that are in town looking for podcasts to podcast with, and they find us, you know, and we got people coming from Alaska that want to interview with us, you know, and it's crazy that it's just been overwhelming and very positive kind of response from what we do.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to keep all of that in line and then still try to be a human within that.
Listen, brother, I hear you, man. I hear you. It's interesting. There have been conversations that have been had about educating the creators, right? I remember years ago when I first started doing radio, and I would have conversations about what my perspective, right? Not being native.
Yeah.
There's, you know, as you've described, I mean, there's always been an amazing music scene in Portland. For, you know, they're just you know, so many interviews that you've done, people have talked about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's been interesting to me that on more than one occasion, it's been said that there's really not there's not an industry here in Portland to help support it, which so much is perspective, some of it is politics. But when you think about everything that is here, it's just always been very odd and very strange to me, because as you just described, there's so much talent here.
Oh yeah.
But then there's manufacturing. You can get your vinyl pressed here.
Yes, you can.
You can get all of your equipment. There are microphone manufacturers here. There are amplifier manufacturers. There are guitar manufacturers. Like, all of that is here. There are and there have been record labels here. So when the idea that there's not an industry here has always been very interesting to me. And then I do wonder, I don't know what that is about. So I bring that up to say, as you are continuing to build out PDX Radio, the pieces beyond the radio station, or as an adjunct to the radio station, I find to be interesting and powerful for building community that can look like industry.
Yeah.
Is that a part of your vision?
I call us the Shade 45 of Portland.
Okay.
So I feel like we are the Shade 45 hip hop nation of Portland. We are, with us being uncensored. I really do want to push more for an industry type situation. You know, if I could get picked up by Sirius XM, so be it. You know what I'm saying? And make it happen. I do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, because that would be a way for me to get these artists on more of a national stage than what they're currently on. Let
me ask you this. I'm gonna cut you off, bro.
Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
To me, it's important to me because everybody wants to be heard. And the more ears that I can get onto these people's music, the more fans that I can bring towards their music. You know, and it's just the vicious cycle. Because if you think about how the industry is ran nowadays, you know, they got the botting, you got the big machines behind these people. So when you listen to the radio, all you hear are the Drakes. All you hear are the T-Pains and the City Girls and the Megan Thee Stallions and the Cardi B's. That's all you hear. You don't hear all the great other music that's out there. So that's why that's important to me, because I definitely want to push the narrative that there are really great artists out there. And from doing this for so long, I found so many great artists that I never would have known about. You know, and music is it's like my life. So it's like it's part of my DNA. It's what keeps me going. So finding new stuff like that and being able to break new records and being able to take people's records that I'm getting that submission, taking them into the club and watching people's reaction, and then people come up and say, "Yo, what song was that?
Yeah.
Who was that artist?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a local Portland artist right here. Nah, get out of town." I'm like, yeah, this they from Portland.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's do you got an IG for them? You know, and I like that I'm able to put other people on to other people's music that they probably wouldn't normally come across.
Yeah.
So it's all about discovery for me, you know, and being able to have people be discovered and to be discovered. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because that it's a very familiar path, and I wonder with what you with what you have built and continue to build, and the idea of it being underground. And I use the term industry, and I think industry now, when we think about industry, we do think about the mainstream. We think about the major labels and this, that, and the third. Man, I had this thought this week, thinking about what individuals like you and I do when it comes to radio and then even television. You think about the role of these platforms and the history of these platforms. And when you really think about it, bro, radio and television are really the programming that's created for these platforms is really created for advertisers.
Yeah, it is.
Like at the end of the day, if I have a product that I'm trying to sell, I can't just keep saying buy my product. I got to give you some reason to listen to me ask you to buy my product.
That's right.
And so we create television programming, and then we create radio programming specifically to get you to buy my product.
Yep.
That's the industry. Mm-hmm. It's not about the artistry. It's not about the actors. It's not about the musicians. So when you do what you're doing and you're talking about, I'm creating this because I want to let people know about these artists, to let them know about these creatives outside of Portland, that's so different.
Yeah. Which
I love, bias, because that's what I do as well. You feel me? So do you think that you can, because it is a different way of thinking, do you think that you can also help the creatives see that?
Oh, I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. And I've always been taught to lead by example.
Yep.
So my thing is showing people, this can be done, and they're starting to see that it can be done. What's the thing that really, really shocks me about this is when you see artists who do have a label backing them, and they send us an email, they send us a DM. Hey, I seen you guys been playing my music. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for spinning my music. And we've gotten quite a few of those, and it just, that's one thing that keeps me going with that. It's like, okay, so now these industry people are starting to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then I try to show the independent artists, look, if they're seeing this and they're seeing this happening to them, what do you think is going to happen to you guys if we keep pushing this and we keep moving this to a higher plateau? So like, for instance, my wife has this thing called the 50 States of Dope.
Yes, which is dope.
Yeah, 50. That was her project all last year. So all last year, she went to every single state. She found independent artists from every single state. She made like a little card for them and highlighted them, put their music behind it. And she did that all year. Every state in the United States, she made it happen. You know what I'm saying? And so now the next way to level that up and to show artists that we can make this happen is we're going to put out an album.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So we're doing a PDX collab project, and we're trying to get artists from every state, and we're going to bring them together with Portland artists. It's all going to be produced by my production team and a couple of my friends. And we don't want nothing out of it. All proceeds is going straight to the artists and straight to the producers. Us at PDX Radio, we want nothing but just to put our stamp on it and to show the world that, these are some dope artists that you guys should definitely check out.
That's so dope.
And that showing artists that we're willing to do that, put money up, don't want anything back from it. We just want to make sure that we can give you guys the recognition for the dope music that you guys make and the lives that you guys impact. It's not about us, it's about them.
So let me ask you this, bro, because it's a conversation that I've had with myself for many years. And I don't want this to be a leading question, but that sentiment that you just described, do you find that, have you run into challenges doing that type of work the way that you're doing? I'm really trying not to ask a leading question because I know my answer to it.
Yeah. It's definitely challenging. It's definitely challenging. But I think my passion for music, my passion for doing this work is what really pushes this forward, and it puts all of my worries and things behind me, because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know where this train is headed.
Okay.
I know where the train is headed. I've already bought the ticket. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hopping on board. I'm here for the ride.
That's
for the ups, the downs, for the challenges, all of that. I mean, one of the main things that I've had is maybe artists is not showing up for their interviews. That's the hardest thing. Oh no, you got to be here at this time. Oh no, we're scheduled at this time. Oh, can I reschedule? Okay, I'll do a couple of reschedules, but after that, it's gonna be like a 3-month wait because I got people.
You got people lined up. Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing, is just making sure people show up on time.
Well, the reason I asked though is because I find that a lot of times people aren't used to saying, "Yo, let me do this thing for you."
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that, okay, but what do you want out of it?
Yeah.
Like the idea that again, I have a platform. It's a gift that God gave me.
Yeah.
Not for me to hold for myself, but to utilize.
Yes, sir.
And I think that sometimes that's so different, right? That artists or human beings, not just artists, that people, they may not take it seriously, because if I say I'm doing this for nothing, they're like, no, there's something behind it. So I'm not gonna.
There's definitely a catch.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was asking that question. But I love your answer though. The fact that you continue to do this because you have a vision for what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I definitely have a vision. I see where this can go. I feel like there's a lot of internet radio stations out there in the world, but there's nobody doing what we're doing. That's what I feel. There's a lot of places that probably play independent artists and things like that, but they're not doing it like how we do. We're just taking a whole different approach to radio.
Yeah.
With us being a radio station that rarely has talking. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We rarely have any kind of talking, just like maybe commercial inserts here and there, some station IDs to let people know what they're listening to.
Yeah.
But there's not whole lot of talking, except for the interviews that I do.
Yeah.
So that changes a lot. It's people just getting straight to the music. That's all they're getting, is straight to the music. They don't get all the fluff of commercials.
Yeah.
They don't get the fluff of the advertising and things like that.
Yeah,
people like that, and I didn't realize people like that.
Let me say this though, and you shut me down if I'm incorrect. Just because PDX Radio don't have a bunch of commercials, it does not mean that PDX Radio is not open to support financial.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
That
we don't want to shut no doors.
No. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I haven't found a way to work advertising into what we do.
Word.
Once I do figure that out, then flood doors will open.
Come on. Yes.
But we always like sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Like across the street, going back to Jimbo.
Yes.
Jimbo's he's been a really good friend to me throughout the years. We met at a couple of clubs, doing performances and things like that. And when he started doing Cross the Street and I started doing PDX Radio, and we decided, you know what? Hey, I want to sponsor you. And he's like, hey, I want to sponsor you. And then we're like, okay, well, let's just do this collab thing together.
Yeah.
And I was doing my local only show. Like he would shout me out. I would shout him out. This PDX Radio, locals only, brought to you by Cross the Street. And it just works when you collab and you work with people like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Finding like-minded people who are on a similar path, because I don't know. I go back and forth. On one hand, I feel like we can't do it all alone. We have to have people, and sometimes there are seasons where we have seasons working with individuals. But at the end of the day, man, we weren't designed to do this life thing on our own. As I said, PDX Radio seems to be the foundation but there are so many other little pieces that I've seen, and you've talked about some of them. So, New Music Monday,
yes,
is a piece that you do.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
New Music Monday came about from me just streaming on Facebook one day, and I think Swiggle Mandela was at my house.
Okay,
Swiggle came through. He was like, "Yo, bro, let's go live. We just gonna play people's music, And I was like, "All right, cool." So we did it, and I realized the reception I got from it. People was like, "Yo, where can I send music? Where can I send music?" Thought about it. and I was filming it on my cell phone because I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a camera, so I was filming it on my cell phone. And then that just prompted me like, yo, we got to go get some webcams or something. I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Within the week, I went out and got some webcams and started learning how to use OBS. And you know, once you run one of them programs, you kind of got them all figured out. They all kind of run the same almost. And so it was just moving. So that's how New Music Monday came about. And I just started seeing the community that we were building, and people were coming back every week. You know, and then I think my first real when I first realized that I was really a streamer is when I got my first $150 donation from somebody for reviewing their music for no reason. Like I was like, send me $150.
Right.
It's like, man, check your Cash App. And I look at my Cash App, you know, dude, it sent me like $150. I had another guy send me like $100. I had somebody else send me like $50. And then I realized, I said, you know, this is the real deal. People really are in tune with what we're doing. Yeah. So throughout this whole year, it's just been evolve. How can we make this bigger? How can we do different things? So we take the artists that we play on the show, and then we've created a playlist on PDX Radio called Live and Direct, which is nothing but the artists that we played on the show that have submitted music. Only the best ones, though. I you know, there are some that I have to tell them, you know what, hey, send me something else next week, and we'll just keep pushing it from there. But starting that, and then we do Turn Me Up Tuesdays. That's like a bi-weekly thing that I do. Every other Tuesday I do Turn Me Up Tuesdays, and that's where we just let anybody, if you got a music video, you got an old song that you want to highlight, you know, you got an OG that you looked up to when you was a kid, you want me to play his music video, so we play the music videos and stuff like that.
That's dope.
And then I have a new thing that I'm starting. It's gonna be only on PDX Radio. It's gonna be my first actual real radio show where I'm gonna start doing it weekly, where it's just gonna air. It's called No Cosign.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna try to find the hottest stuff that I can find across the United States that don't need no cosign, and we're gonna talk about it. And then we'll talk about community and mental health. That's the one thing that people don't really talk about is the mental health of artists and DJs. You know, it's a lot of stress and stuff that goes into this. So just to highlight these things, you know, and talk about parenthood. You know what I'm saying? Things that are important to us nowadays as a community. I want to make sure I bring all of that to light.
I love that, because again, this is you're speaking as someone who has a platform, realizing the benefit of having that platform. Oh yeah, but also the responsibility of having that platform. Yes, and I love to hear you talk about, you know, really taking full advantage of that and creating these things. I also want to take a minute to talk a little bit about, and you've already touched on it. When it comes to the album that you guys are working on putting together, your production. So that is something that you talked about, your music background, something that you were doing, but something that you're continuing to do. Who's the collective, the production collective that you have? So the production team I started back in 2015. We are called Move Makers Music. It consists of me, Vital Knox, Rich James, Deezo Woods, Tech Bang, Kiwi Khaki, my guy Wolverine, my guy Marty. We got Statics Music. We got it's a bunch of us. Yeah, and we're all from different parts. Like some of us are from out here. Some of us live like in other places, like California and things like that. And we communicate via chat, and we're always working. We're always in the group chat together, and it's crazy because we're very rarely in the same space. Where we're in the same room, but we're constantly, you know, communicating through this group chat. Hey, how do you guys like this? Hey, anybody want to get on this song? Hey, anybody know anybody good for this beat? You know, or we try to help each other sell our instrumentals to other artists, you know? So when somebody posts something, we make sure we all share it and try to get the word out there for it. But yeah, Rich James was probably one of the first people that was a move maker.
Me and him started this kind of together when I was in college.
Okay.
And then I met Vital, I met Tech and Diesel Woods all through college.
Okay.
So we were kind of in college together, you know what I mean? And then everything just kind of came together. It was like, oh man, you make dope music. Oh man, you make dope. I was like, man, we should just be a group.
Yeah.
We should all just come together, man, and just make this work.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've been able to get features from like we've had Mozzie on a couple of our songs.
Mm-hmm.
I have done production for Swiggle Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my own series of beat tapes that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably got like 6 beat tapes out there
Okay.
on Spotify and stuff like that. I think out of all of my streaming, I've done close to like 10 million streams throughout all of my platforms.
Yeah.
Just on instrumentals. And I never thought that was something that was going to be attainable for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never thought, oh, I'm gonna sell 10 million
Yeah,
records.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you talk about it, but
Yeah.
then you look at the reality, you're like, nah, this may not even happen. But when you start going through all these stats from all these different platforms, you know, you may have 100,000, 200,000 on Spotify. You might have another 10, 15,000 coming off a YouTube, another 100,000 coming off a Tidal or something like that. And when you start adding it all together, it all adds up, you know, all while maintaining that Move Maker's name.
Yeah.
I push that on everything.
Yeah.
I put it on the radio station in the commercials. You'll hear Move Makers, Move Makers. That's my voice. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to put on for the team more than anything. I'm so much of a people person, and my heart is so, like, again, my heart is 7-4. So my heart is so big, man. I try to help everybody else before I look at helping myself. Like, I'm not one of those people that I can't go to a Burger King and just get myself something without getting something for my family.
Got you.
If I got friends in my house, I got to make sure I get them something too.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how my heart and my brain works. So if it's for me, it's for you.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you though.
Okay.
So how do you maintain doing all of this without getting burnt out?
It's a great question. A lot of it is going to be similar to what you've shared, man. It's a passion for the art form. It is one of the things that fuels me. It's one of the things that fills my cup. My listeners know that my 9 to 5 is healthcare.
Yeah.
I work in my physical therapy is my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And so when I have an opportunity to do that in service to others, that's a lot of giving.
Yeah.
And that giving is a part of what I do through everything I do at Klyph Works, but this gives me back a little bit as well. So it does help to fill my cup.
Yeah.
A lot of it is interest, finding interesting people and wanting the curiosity of hearing their stories, like having you here. That prompts me to want to continue to tell stories. I mean, bro, again, just so similar to what you described, right?
Yeah.
The idea of, man, look at this art that maybe people are talking about it, but I don't hear people talking about it. So let me use my platform to help get the word out. And some of it is I don't know, bro. There's something that just seems to be inside of me that needs. So, like, I was talking to my wife a couple days ago about the way that I'm wired, where I have to be working towards something.
Yeah.
I just do. And even in those moments and that's why I love that you talked about bringing mental health on board with some of the things that you're doing, that it's difficult to tell sometimes when you're getting burnt out.
Oh yeah.
It's difficult to tell when it's, okay, I need to unplug and do a little bit of self-care. So in answer to your question, some of it is I do get burnt out and I just don't realize it.
Yeah.
You know?
Same here.
I do get overwhelmed and just don't realize it. But for me, when I see the finished product, when I edit the interview, when I get the thank you, you know, when I get the, like you're saying, you know, yo man, thank you so much for playing my music.
Yeah.
When I was an artist, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be on the radio.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to have an opportunity to get on. And so when you see that you're providing that opportunity for someone else, it can keep you going.
Yeah.
You know, it can keep you going.
I've had situations to where I've been burnt out, and it happens while I'm on stream because I, again, work in graveyard, you know, and being a father, doing fatherly, husbandly duties, and then still trying to run a radio station and do streaming at the same time. You know, there's been times where I've been on stream and I'm just like, yo, I'm nauseous.
Yeah.
Like, my body is telling me, you know, you got to end this stream soon. Get yourself some rest. It's too much, you know. Or there's times where I just don't feel like streaming. I don't want to do it, and it'll be. I'll take a 2-week hiatus. I am not afraid. My fans and my listeners, the people that watch me, they know. Rappy is known for taking at least a week or 2-week hiatuses. Yeah. He'll go strong for 2-3 months, and he'll take a 2-week hiatus just to clear his head, to get his mental right, to make sure everything is right with him, you know, physically, all that. And I'll come back to my stream and I'll let people know, hey, thank you guys for being patient with me on this hiatus. You know what I'm saying? I had to take a mental health break to get my mind right and get back to where I am. So that's very important to me.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very important to me. That's why that's one of the reasons I wanted to ask you, like, because I always like to ask people, like, how do you not get burnt out? Like, it's because this is a very draining job because people want stuff from you all the time. All the time.
But you know what, though? So I had a few years ago, man, I did the pivot. And the pivot for me was the realization that what I was doing, I could not maintain.
Yeah.
And what I was doing was actually harming me.
Yeah.
And so I had to pivot. And it was really, really tough because, as you've described, I am a people pleaser.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a chameleon. I am whoever you need me to be in the moment. But in doing that throughout the years, you can lose who you are.
Exactly.
And so, in doing that, it helped me recognize and realize that I have to continue to operate, but I have to operate in a way that I feel that I'm called to operate, and hopefully make decisions that are not. I'm not just doing this because it's what I want to do,
right?
But I'm doing it because it's what I'm called to do,
right?
But with that, understanding and owning the fact that if I'm putting myself out there as the person who will do and be in service to others, then that's who people know me as.
That's right.
So when people are coming at me like, yo, can you do this, that, and the third? I can't be mad at that because that's who you know me as.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I love what you talked about how people become friends, they become family, because that's the only way you really get to know. And that's the wonderful thing about podcasts. It's one of the reasons that I do like podcasts, because we can hear the story behind the music. We get to hear the story behind the actor or the actress. We get to know who you are as a person. And I think that can change the perspective. And I think it can help us respect one another to a greater degree, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all need that space, for sure.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
For sure. Listen, bro, so much to talk about. I'm right now. I'm inviting you back for part 2 because there's so much we didn't even get into.
Oh yeah, we definitely can do part 2.
That's what's up. Okay, all right. Listen, bro. Before I let you get up out of here, we've talked about it consistently, but just in case people have not caught on, how do they tap in? How do they tap into the creative first of PDX Radio, and then how do they tap into other things that you want to be sure that people are up on?
You guys can always find us at getpdxradio.com. That's getpdxradio.com. We stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We never turn off. We're always on. If you are an artist and you want to submit music to me, best way to do that is put.me.on@getpdxradio.com. Or if you want to submit to New Music Monday, it's nmm@getpdxradio.com. So that stands for New Music Monday, nmm@getpdxradio.com. You guys can find us, pretty dope experience on IG. I'm Rappy Dooski on IG. Find me on Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. And I'm an open book, man. So if you guys have questions for me, you guys want to learn more about how to interview with me and things like that, you guys can always just tap in with me, hit me up. I'm always available.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love it. Listen, brother, once again, man, thank you so much for taking the time to pull up.
I appreciate you having me here, man.
No doubt.
For real.
No doubt. And if I say it, I mean it. We definitely doing a part 2 because there's so much more to get into.
Let's do it.
That's what's up. That's what's
I'm
up.
with it.
Rappy Dooski, PDX Radio live here on the Klyph Notes podcast. Once again, thank you everyone for tapping into the podcast. Remember, it's available everywhere you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, like literally everywhere, Amazon, Pandora, anywhere you get your podcast, and of course at klyphnotes.com. Yo, thank you so much to X-Ray FM for being generous host of this recording of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check me out everywhere at DJ Klyph, at DJ KLYPH. And last but never ever least, big up to the homie Theory Has It for creating the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, y'all be blessed. Peace.
Let's go.